Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon. It's so good to see our dear friend and co-chair David Valadeo. Very many thanks for him to join us as well as our own member parliament Preet Gill and all other panelists today. Because I'm not a politician, I'm a human rights defender. Probably I would be reflecting slightly less politely, as some of the politicians have reflected very, very politely. And today we are reflecting about the deteriorating human rights and the religious freedom situation in India, which is not deteriorating just now. It has been deteriorating for about a decade, or even from when because very soon it will be the 15th of August, the day of the transfer of power in India. It has been deteriorating since then. Um, I was listening to our honorable member parliament, Preet Gill, and also I've heard David, who mentioned our United Nations Charter. Because I'm on the Global Steering Committee of the UN, I just want to put it on record that India even today has not ratified the basic, and it has the basic right, which is the right to self-determination. When UN came into being, it was based on the right to self-determination, which is both in internal form of internal self-determination, that the people have the right to determine about their government, about their policies, about their economics, as well as the external self-determination. And India, even today, is not signatory to that right. As well as India has submitted reservations to the UN Convention on Genocide, which obviously was one of the very pioneer conventions in 1948. So India, which we call democracy, I don't know whether to call it democracy or not. What you call democracy, it's not just merely that people elect a majoritarian rule and then a political party with its own very ultra-nationalist ideology start ruling a country, and it is called democracy. Democracy has some essence. Democracy has some principles, and if those principles are not followed, then obviously that cannot be called democracy. I think someone is trying to, I mean, somebody has unmuted themselves. That's why my voice is not being conveyed properly. May I ask everyone to please mute? So when we talk about democracy, a country where there is no freedom of speech, there is no freedom of expression, where federalism is failing and the center is taking all of its powers from its states, that such failing federalism, and a country where you still have medieval caste system, which cast out many people and a good number of Dalits, that country, whether that should be called a democracy or not, that should be an academic debate for another day. Now, let me come to this point about specifically about the Sikhs, because we have a large number of the Sikhs. As David was saying, that his constituency is obviously have quite diverse constituency, where you have a lot of expats from India as well as American Sikhs. So David must have seen that on 15th of August each year, where you would have seen some celebrations by certain expat Indian nationals, you would have seen a large number of Sikhs protesting on 15th of August, which is supposed to be India's days of transfer of power or Independence Day. The reason for that very protest of the Sikhs and marking that 15th of August as Black Day is very simple. Because in 1947, two states came into being: state of Pakistan for Muslims and state of India for majoritarian Hindu rule, which was supposed to be a federation of nations. But unfortunately, Sikhs achieved nothing at the time of the transfer of power. They were rather classified as the tribe of criminals. And when we talk about democracy, the first thing is the constitution. A country which constitution even today is discrimination against Sikhs in Article 25(2)(b), which classify the Sikhs as one of the turban-wearing Hindus. They don't have personal laws in India today, and when they use their right to self-determination, internal self-determination, in 70s, they were classified as terrorists, and ultimately it caused the Sikh genocide. And even today, all the discrimination based on political basis as well as economics is in front of the world's eyes, as the Kisan protest or farmer protest have been mentioned. I think it is the largest protest in the recent history. And I just want to put it on record, as Preet was mentioning, that the UN Rapporteur on for Peaceful Assembly has endorsed it. I just want to bring it to her attention, not only him, but the top hierarchy in the UN, which is UN Secretary General, as well as UN Chief for Human Rights. Both have given very strong statements in the support of this peaceful right to protest. I also want to bring it to your attention. We talk about the farmers' protest, but what we often forget that the current government of India, which is ultra-nationalist government of BJP, has been systematically deteriorating the norms of democracy and constitutionalism in India. As I talked about federalism before, they abolished Article 370, and they taken all the powers from, and completely unconstitutionally, by just putting their own constitution on a side, just like Indira Gandhi, who put the constitution aside and declared emergency in 1975. Same model is being followed by now, where the federal government taking all the powers from the states. This has happened in Kashmir, and then Muslims have seen the worst violent attacks in 2000 in Delhi, similar to the model of the Sikh genocide of 1984. Then you have the issues of hate speech throughout the period of pandemic, where people were called the Corona jihadists, and Tabligis and the Muslims were all tagged for that, even tried in the courts. And then we have seen what has happened with very recently with the Dalit girl, and now the world is seeing India as the rape capital of the world. So looking at all of this situation, we clearly see that there is a very wide range of the human rights violation, not only self-determination, not only economic rights, not only political rights, but a wide range of violation of human rights and civil liberties. Hence the reason, if you remember, in 2017, I published my report. Not I published my report, rather United States Commission on International Religious Freedom contracted me to write a report on the constitutional and legal challenges faced by the minorities in India. I made certain recommendations, but the government of India has paid no attention whatsoever to it. And as David was mentioning, United States Commission on International Religious Freedom has declared India a country of particular concern 2 years consecutively. Last time India became a CPC, a country of particular concern, was when the Gujarat massacre happened of the Muslims, and after that, now India for the last 2 years consecutively is a country of particular concern. In short terms, or in journal language, India is blacklisted by the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom for religious freedom. I could have taken more time and speak more, but since we have some other august panelists, I will be able to intervene at a later stage when we will open the floor for some discussions. I thank you all, and I really want to thank American Sikh Caucus, who have been voicing for all these human rights and religious freedom issues for several years. Remember, in 2015, it was the first term of the Modi government, it was the American Sikh Caucus which has the first briefing on the religious freedom in the houses of Congress. Dr. Gurdarshan Dhillon, who is joining us today, was one of my co-panelists at the time in 2015. And then we had similar congressional briefings on prevention of genocide, as well as now people are talking about Rohingya genocide, as well as the situation of Muslims in China. But these are the issues nobody was talking in 2015 and 16, when American Sikh Caucus very proudly presented all these issues to the members of the Congress. I thank you all for your patience listening. I think we'll have more time to discuss these issues in open discussion in the second session of today's webinar. Thank you all.